I would like to share, Arun.
Chandrama, please go
Yeah.
ahead. Vijay, could you please put the spotlight on Chandrama? Thanks, Vijay.
Yeah, after the first GPS, we started with the money plant. We had 2 cuttings. I thought, let me put one in water and one in the soil so that I will have 2 plants in 2 different places. But the part which I put it in the soil didn't grow well. I felt it was very weak and very sad to look. Then Amma said maybe it will take time because it has come to a new place and all that. And the next day also I saw the leaves wasn't so happy. So I thought I'll put it back into the water itself. And now I put it in the water only, and now I'm seeing it is again back to life, and it's looking very nice now. And then we had a tree with a plant which was in a pot in the first floor, which was looking very sad. So I thought, let me bring it to the ground floor, and I bought it. And it had only 2-3 leaves in that 2 branches also. So I was feeling very sad. We are not looking after this tree properly. That is why it is not growing so well. I had this feeling with me. And every day I used to go and stand near that pot and look at it with the feelings. And I thought it is not going to grow at all. But to the surprise, new leaves, green leaves started coming. I was so happy to see the leaves in that plant. I said, I spoke to the plant. I said, I'm so happy that you're growing again. You're coming back to life again. And every day I started standing there talking to that plant. And every day I could see improvement. That's why I took a picture of it today morning and I put it in the Gurupada Sangha. Every day I will go and talk to it and I'll say, I'm so happy you're growing. I'm so happy you're growing. And it is growing very fast and very nice. It was a beautiful experience for me. And one more plant, Parijata plant, was also there in a bucket. And that was also almost in the drying position. So I brought it down and put it in the ground soil. And I remember, and I thought that it would come back to life and all that. But it didn't. All the leaves dried and the plant was looking very sad. Luckily, I had prepared that onion water, what Guruji said, and I sprinkled. And now again, the leaves are coming and the buds are blooming. And I was so happy that the plant has come back to life. As I was working with, this is the plant. Every day I speak to it. I said, I'm so happy you're growing. I'm so happy you're growing. And it is growing more and more now. Then I came to know, like, I realized that whatever God has created everything is so beautiful that when you work with it, when you are with it, you experience joy and happiness. The sky, whatever, water, air, whatever God has created gives us joy and happiness. So God's creation is really the ultimate. I'm so happy to experience this with the plants. Thank you, Guruji.
Arun, ಅವರು ಮನಿ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ನೀರಲ್ಲೇ ಬೆಳೀತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ವಾ, ಮಣ್ಣಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಅದು ಒಂದು ತರ ನೀರಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳೀತಕ್ಕಂತ ಜಾತಿ ಸಸಿ ಅದು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಗೊಬ್ಬರ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ನೀರನ್ನ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡುತ್ತೆ, ನೀರನ್ನೇ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಇದ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ನೀರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತ ಏನು ಮಿನರಲ್ಸ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಾತ್ರ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಭೂಮಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಧಾನವಾಗಿ ಬೆಳೆಯುತ್ತೆ, ನೀರಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಗ ಬೆಳೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳೀತಕ್ಕಂತ ಜಾತಿ ಸಸಿ ಅದು.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Maestre, for that.
Yes. Arun, Amma wants to share.
Please, Amma, please share your experience.
Namaste, Guruji. Namaste, everybody. Happy and World Environment Day.
Chandrama, can you please have the phone?
Yeah.
See, in nature, everything is useful in some way or the other. Now, Guruji said, is every plant gives, every green plant, rather we can say, green plant gives oxygen. Apart from this, the plants are useful in different ways. Maybe some plant is useful in one way, another plant is useful in another way. Nothing is waste. When I met Guruji, he introduced the challenge children and said, people call them waste, but they are very useful. I was curious how they can be useful to the society. Before coming to our the Sevak classes, I used to work with plants. In Lalbagh, I used to grow crop plants. And all of you know that the farmers are after chemical farming, especially in those days, they were crazy, actually, I can say. And they used to laugh at us because we didn't want to use these poisons for plants. We wanted to care for plants. So without using any chemical, we used to grow the plants. Of course, they couldn't give so much yield, but we were not after yield. We wanted to preserve their the nutrients, their whatever is useful to the mankind. And so I selected some crop plants like coriander, wheat, and others. And instead of using the weedicide is a chemical which destroys all the weeds. And the farmers use these weedicides so that they can remove all the weeds in a very short time. But the weedicides enter the soil and destroy all the worms, which are very useful to the plants, especially the earthworm. And they also enter the food we eat. So it is not good to use the weedicides. We used to remove the weeds manually, and I thought of leaving some weeds just to know what would happen. I was curious. Why weeds are considered as unwanted plants? Why are they considered as plants which destroy the crops, which bring down the yield? To my surprise, the crop plants grew and they gave sufficient yield, if not a very high yield. And one more surprising thing we all noticed was the soil in which the crops grew along with the weeds. We found some rare minerals which were not there in the field where we removed all the weeds, where we used the where the farmers generally use the weedicides. So this, by analyzing the soil and speculating, we understood that the weeds are useful in a way. They supply the minerals which are in the deep layers, because the crop plants generally have a very short root system. They have fibrous root system or a tap root system, which doesn't go very deep. Whereas the weeds, the root system of the weeds is very deep. Naturally, they suck the minerals which are found in the deep layers and they bring it up so that even the crop plants can use those minerals. That is why they are not useless in a way. They are useful in a way. And some of them are even medicinal. And in the Ayurvedic system, so many weeds are used as medicine. So when I came to Sevak and Guruji was introducing the challenge children and saying that they are divine, I somehow felt, I became again curious to find why they are divine, how are they divine? And I have realized really that they are divine. And every day I'm experiencing some divine quality in these children, like their love is unconditional. They don't expect something to do something. I mean, generally people do some work only with expectation. If it is good, they do. Otherwise, if they don't get it, they may not. They go back. But these children are not like that. Whether they get anything in return or not, they love us. And, and one more astonishing thing I found was, just like the plants which supply the oxygen to the animals, are these challenged children, especially the simple souls. Because I didn't see this in just physically challenged people, but these so-called mentally challenged, let us call them simple souls, that's better. And these special children, they radiate something. From them, something will be radiating. And the people who come in their vicinity will experience it, will experience with joy, the rays of the joy and the kindness. They're so kind. And whoever comes in contact with them and stays with them, lives with them for a long time, will get this experience, and their mind becomes light. They remove the heaviness of the mind, and the heaviness of the mind is the cause for all the psychosomatic diseases. So naturally, there is healing, natural healing in the people who come here. And we have really experienced the change in the minds of the people who come here. Even these days, they come here and they say they feel very they're peaceful here, happy here. How does it happen? Because of these children. So somewhere, this experience which I had with plants is carried on to the human beings. And I thank Guruji so much for helping me to realize the divinity, because this divinity was something confusing to me. Earlier, I felt a divinity was something where person is omnipresent, omnipotent and all that. But now, as Guruji simplified it and said, divinity is a bundle of qualities like unconditional love, kindness, simplicity, non-expectation, all these. So all these qualities we find in these challenged children, and they are really very much useful. And as the plants are balancing the nature with the oxygen, these children are balancing the society with their simplicity and simple ego. Their ego is very, very thin, and naturally, I feel they are very useful. And naturally, we have to care for them. In return to their help, to their service, let us serve them and show our gratitude by being with them, by accepting them instead of expecting something from them. Let us accept them. And the surprising thing is, by accepting what we expect is happening, that means generally when they come here, when we see the parents cry and say the children are a burden to us, what will happen to them after our death, we feel sorry, and we say, and we also plan to improve their mind, to see that they at least become independent in ADLs. That's why we train them in a way, though I feel it may not be required. We still do that, but we accept them anyway. We don't get disappointed when something doesn't happen, what we expect doesn't happen. So by accepting, gradually we are noticing so much of improvement in them, and they are doing their own work independently. And even today, a challenged boy by name Giri is coming every day. He comes here because he likes to come to school. He's very near our school, and he alerts us to go near the plants and water them. So all these are very nice experiences.
Thank you, Amma.
I have a question, Guruji. Like this money plant I'm growing in the bottle, should we change the water or should we have the same water? Because some people are telling me don't change the water. Amma is telling you have to change the water. So I don't know what to do, Guruji. So kindly tell me whether I should change it or keep adding water in the same water.
Do both. You leave it like that only. When you feel it's become
Okay.
less, then you add water.
Okay, Guruji. Thank you, Guruji.
You will know when the plant needs more water.
Ah,
If the color of the water has become too brownish or something, then change it. If the color is clear, no, then let it be.
okay, Guruji.
If it decrease a lot, then add. Otherwise, don't add.
Okay, Guruji. Thank you.
On the chat window, we have a message from Sai Pranati. Sai Pranati